Have you ever found yourself falling for someone, only to realize later that she wasn't the person you thought she was? Maybe at first she was charming, exciting, even magnetic, but over time little cracks started to appear. The way she handled problems, the way she reacted to pressure, the way she treated you when things didn't go her way, it all began to reveal a side of her that you couldn't ignore. Now let me ask you, how many of you have ignored those warning signs, hoping love would fix everything? How many times have you thought, maybe it's just a phase, maybe she'll change, but deep down, you knew something was off? Today we're going to talk about 7 signs of a stupid woman through the lens of Stoic philosophy, especially the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. And before we dive in, I want you to do 3 things. First, hit that subscribe button and like this video, because we're building a community of men and women who want to live with strength, wisdom, and peace. Second, stay with me until the very end of this video, because the last point will completely shift how you view relationships. It might even save you from heartbreak. Third, as you listen, reflect on your own love life. Think of the women you've met, good or bad, and ask yourself, have I seen these signs before? Because once you see them clearly, you can't unsee them. And that's exactly the point. Now let's begin with Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who ruled the Roman Empire. In his meditations, he constantly reminded himself that the quality of our lives depends on the quality of our choices, especially the people we allow close to us. So let's explore the 7 signs of a stupid woman, so you'll recognize them before it's too late. 1. She lives for appearances, not substance. Do you remember the first time you fell in love? Really think about it. The way your heart raced when she walked into the room, the way her laughter felt like music, the way her eyes seemed to hold an entire world. You probably thought, this is it. This is the woman I've been waiting for. And let me guess, you were proud. Proud to walk beside her, proud to call her yours, proud when other people looked at you with envy. She was beautiful, magnetic, the type of woman who could make an ordinary place feel extraordinary just by being there. But tell me, after some time, did you start to notice that her beauty wasn't just for you? That she seemed to live for the gaze of others? That every moment with her had to be displayed, documented, shared? Maybe you've been there. You're sitting at dinner with her, trying to open your heart, trying to tell her about your dreams, and what does she do? She pulls out her phone, adjusts her hair, and says, wait, let me post this first. The food gets cold, the conversation dies, but the photo? Perfect. And deep down you feel it, the sting of invisibility, because it wasn't really about being with you. It was about being seen with you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Notice the focus. Being, not appearing. Stoicism teaches us that true worth lies in what we are when no one's watching, not in the mask we wear for the crowd. But a woman who lives for appearances can't understand this. She's too caught up in validation. The likes on her photos matter more than the love in your eyes. The strangers applauding her matter more than the partner supporting her. And slowly you realize you're not in a relationship, you're in a performance. Now pause for a second. Let me ask you, have you ever loved someone who made you feel like you weren't enough? Because her real love was the attention of others? If so, you know the pain. You know what it feels like to give your soul to someone who only gives their image back. And here's the truth, appearances fade, beauty changes. Trendy, but substance, the character, the kindness, the depth of a soul, that's eternal. If she doesn't have that, what happens when the spotlight moves on? The Stoics would say, never tie your peace to something shallow. A woman who lives for appearances is like chasing a shadow. You'll never catch it. So I ask you, do you want to be the man who props up someone else's illusion? Or do you want to be loved for who you truly are? Think about that carefully, because the answer could save you years of wasted love. She has no control over her desires. Have you ever been in love with someone who felt exciting at first, almost unpredictable like fire? She was fun, spontaneous, always chasing thrills. At the beginning, it probably pulled you in. You thought, wow, she's different. She's alive. But with time, that fire began to burn out of control. Maybe she couldn't resist shopping sprees when the bills were piling up. Maybe she couldn't say no to another night out, even when she promised she'd stay in. Or maybe, this one cuts deeper, she couldn't stop chasing attention, even from other men. Do you feel that memory stirring inside you? That moment when you realize she didn't just want you, she wanted everything. Attention, validation, excitement, indulgence. And the worst part? Nothing was ever enough. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." Flip that for relationships, and you'll see a woman's character is revealed by the desires she chooses to control or refuses to. A stupid woman has no brakes. She's like a ship with no anchor, drifting wherever her impulses take her. And if you're tied to that ship, guess what? You drift too. You lose your peace, your savings, your trust, even your self-respect. Let me make this real with a story you might relate to. Imagine you saved up for months, planning a future with her, maybe a trip together, maybe even something bigger like moving into a new home. And then one day you discover she spent it all, not because she needed to, but because she wanted to. A bag, a party, a night she deserved. And when you question her, she says, "You don't understand me. I just want to live life." But what she's really saying is, "I can't control myself, and now you'll have to carry the cost." The Stoics warned against being enslaved by desire. Epictetus put it perfectly. No man is free who is not master of himself. The same is true for women. And if she can't master her cravings, you will spend your life cleaning up the mess. So let me ask you, be honest. Have you ever felt like you were more of a parent than a partner? Have you ever tried to love someone who acted on impulse and left you to deal with the consequences? That's not love, that's chaos disguised as passion. And here's the hard truth. If she can't master her desires, she'll never truly master love. Because love requires discipline, sacrifice, and control. Without that, everything burns. So think carefully. Do you want a partner who builds with you? Or someone who destroys everything because she can't say no to herself? For she believes happiness comes from others, or... Have you ever been with someone who always seemed unsatisfied? No matter what you did, no matter how much love, time, or energy you poured into her, it was never enough? Maybe you've lived this. You surprised her with flowers, but she complained they weren't her favorite ones. You took her out for dinner, but she said the restaurant wasn't special enough. You spent hours listening to her problems, trying to be her safe place, but still she sighed and said, "I'm just not happy." And here's the painful truth. You eventually realize she doesn't actually want you. She wants you to fix her. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." He knew that real happiness is self-created, born from our inner mindset, not handed to us by others. But a stupid woman doesn't believe this. She thinks her happiness is your responsibility. She puts the weight of her entire emotional life on your shoulders, and no matter how strong you are, that burden will eventually crush you. Let's make this personal. Imagine you're in love with her. You're doing everything, working hard to provide, planning dates, sending good morning texts, trying to anticipate her needs. At first she smiles, she seems grateful, but soon enough, she's back to frowning, saying, "You don't make me happy anymore." How does that make you feel? Unappreciated? Exhausted? Like you're running on a treadmill that never stops? I want you to really reflect. Have you ever tried to love someone into happiness? Did you think your love would heal her wounds, fill her emptiness, make her whole? If you did, you already know the truth. It doesn't work. Because happiness is not a gift we give. It is a responsibility each person must take for themselves. The Stoics were clear. True peace comes from within. The moment someone places their joy entirely in the hands of another, they've given up control of their life. And worse, they've made their partner a prisoner to their moods. Think of it this way. If her happiness depends on you, then her unhappiness becomes your fault, even when you've done nothing wrong. That's not love, that's dependency. And here's what you must remember. A woman who believes happiness comes from others will never truly love you. She will only use you as a tool to chase her own emotional highs. And when those highs fade, as they always do, she'll blame you for the emptiness she refuses to face. So ask yourself this. Do you want to spend your life being someone's partner? Or someone's emotional crutch? Because the answer to that question will shape your future love life forever. For she blames everyone but herself. Have you ever loved someone who always had an excuse? No matter what went wrong in her life, her job, her friendships, her past relationships, it was never her fault. It was always someone else who was wrong. Someone else who didn't understand her. Someone else who ruined everything. Think back for a second. Maybe you've heard words like these before. My ex was toxic. All of them were. My boss just doesn't like me. My friends betrayed me, that's why I don't talk to them anymore. At first you might have believed her. You wanted to be the one who was different, the one who would treat her right, the one who could finally prove to her that not everyone was against her. But over time, you began to notice a painful truth. She wasn't just unlucky. She was unwilling to look in the mirror. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Do you see the wisdom here? A strong person takes responsibility. A weak one blames the world. But a stupid woman doesn't understand this. She hides her weaknesses behind constant blame. She builds her entire story around being the victim. And if you stay long enough, guess what happens? The finger eventually turns on you. Imagine this. You've had a long day at work. You come home and she's upset. You ask gently, "What's wrong?" And she replies, "You never listen to me. You never care about me. You're the reason I feel this way." Suddenly, her unhappiness isn't just her problem, it's your fault. You become her punching bag, the target of every frustration she refuses to face within herself. And here's the trap. The more you try to prove you're not the enemy, the deeper you sink. You over-explain, you defend yourself, you give in, yet nothing changes. Because the problem isn't you. The problem is her refusal to take responsibility for her own life. Let me ask you, have you ever felt like you were carrying two people's responsibilities? Like you were not only living your life, but also cleaning up her mess, fixing her mistakes, defending yourself from her blame? If you have, you already know how exhausting it feels. The Stoics taught that freedom comes when we own our choices. A woman who cannot do this is a woman who will trap you in endless cycles of drama. And the sad truth is this, if she blames everyone but herself, she will never grow. She will stay stuck and she'll keep you stuck with her. So think carefully. Do you want to build a future with someone who owns her life? Or someone who will always make you the villain in her story? Because in love, blame doesn't just break trust, it destroys peace. She cannot handle the truth. Have you ever been with a woman who told you, "I just want you to be honest with me," but the moment you gave her honesty, she punished you for it? Think about it. Maybe you gently told her that something she said hurt you. Instead of listening, she snapped back, "So now everything's my fault?" Maybe you pointed out that she was being unfair in an argument, and suddenly you were the enemy. Or maybe you dared to give her a little constructive feedback, something as small as, "Maybe you could try handling it this way instead," and she exploded as if you'd insulted her entire existence. Have you ever been there? That sinking feeling in your chest, where you realize, "I can't even tell her the truth without paying the price." Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If someone can show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." The Stoics valued truth above comfort. They welcomed correction, because correction is growth. But a stupid woman does the opposite. She fears truth because truth threatens the perfect picture she's built of herself. She would rather live in denial than face reality. And when you try to hold up the mirror, she'll smash it and blame you for breaking it. Imagine this scenario. You notice her spending is out of control, and you calmly say, "Maybe we should budget better." Instead of appreciating your care, she says, "Why are you controlling me? You never support me." Or maybe she's texting another guy too often, and when you question it, she flips it back. "You're just insecure. You don't trust me." Do you see the pattern? Truth becomes an attack, and honesty becomes dangerous. And here's the painful trap. You start silencing yourself. You stop speaking up. You swallow your feelings just to keep the peace. But inside, resentment grows, because love without truth is not love, it's performance. Let me ask you, have you ever caught yourself walking on eggshells in a relationship? Afraid to say how you really feel? Afraid that one honest sentence might start a war? That's not love, that's fear. And fear kills intimacy faster than anything else. The Stoics teach us that truth sets us free, but only if both people are strong enough to face it. A wise woman will listen, reflect, and even if it stings, she'll grow. A stupid woman will deny, attack, and retreat further into illusions. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. Do you want to share your life with someone who makes you hide your truth, or with someone who helps you live it fully? Because love without truth is just a lie with pretty decorations. 6. She fears silence and solitude. Have you ever met a woman who cannot sit in silence? The kind of woman who always needs the TV on, always needs music blasting, always needs someone texting her, because the quiet terrifies her? At first, it might seem harmless, even playful. She says, "I hate being alone. I get bored so easily." But the truth runs deeper. When silence makes someone uncomfortable, it usually means they're running from themselves. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." The Stoics understood that peace isn't found in noise or people. It's found in learning to be at home with yourself. But a stupid woman can't do this. Silence exposes her. It brings her face to face with her insecurities, her regrets, her unhealed wounds. And solitude? That's unbearable, because it means she has no one to distract her from her inner emptiness. Think about it. Maybe you've dated a woman like this. She constantly texts you not because she misses you, but because she needs attention to survive. If you don't reply right away, she panics. If you say you just want a night to yourself, she accuses you of not loving her. Have you ever been there feeling drained? Because her fear of being alone becomes your responsibility? Here's the danger. When a woman fears solitude, she will cling to anyone who fills the silence, even the wrong man, even a toxic man. It's not about love, it's about distraction. She would rather have bad company than no company at all. That's why you'll see her jump from relationship to relationship, never taking a moment to heal, never reflecting on what went wrong. Because reflection requires solitude, and solitude feels like death to her. Let me give you a simple picture. Imagine sitting with her in a quiet park, just enjoying the breeze, the trees, the sound of your own breath. Instead of soaking in the peace, she starts scrolling on her phone, talking endlessly or asking,
"Why are you so quiet?"
"Is something wrong?" She doesn't understand that silence can be beautiful, that silence can connect souls deeper than words. A wise woman cherishes solitude. She uses it to grow, to think, to strengthen her character. But a foolish one fears it because it exposes the emptiness she refuses to face. So ask yourself honestly, do you want to be with someone who is whole enough to enjoy her own company, or with someone who needs constant distraction just to escape her own thoughts? Because here's the truth. If she cannot sit in silence with herself, she will never truly be able to sit in peace with you. 7. She values status over character. Have you ever been in love with someone, given her your heart, only to feel like she cared more about what you could offer than who you really are? Maybe she loved the car you drove more than the man driving it. Maybe she bragged about your job title to her friends, but never once praised your loyalty, your kindness, or the way you held her when she was down. If that rings true, then you've seen this sign with your own eyes. A woman who values status over character. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The Stoics understood that virtue and character are what define a person, not wealth, not titles, not outward success. Yet a foolish woman flips this truth upside down. She isn't looking for depth, for loyalty, for strength of spirit. She's looking for glitter, the shiny things that impress the crowd. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how she beams when you spend money on her, but hardly notices when you sacrifice your time or emotional energy for her? Have you ever felt that she lights up more when her friends see you two at a fancy restaurant than when you cook for her at home with love? Here's the danger. When a woman values status over character, she will never truly love you. She will only love what you represent. And the moment that status fades, her affection will vanish with it. I know that stings, but pause for a second. Can you recall your first real love? The time when you thought, "This woman sees me for who I am," and then slowly, you realized she didn't. She loved the image, the attention, the way being with you elevated her, but not your essence. That memory still burns, doesn't it? That sinking feeling when you realized it wasn't your soul she wanted, it was your shine. A wise woman, on the other hand, is the opposite. She sees beyond the status. She values how you treat others, how you handle pressure, how you speak when no one is watching. She admires your character, not your paycheck. And here's the thing. Such a woman will stay by your side, whether you're on top of the world or rebuilding from the ashes. But a foolish one? She will abandon you the moment a better opportunity comes along. Ask yourself, do you want a partner who claps for your possessions, or one who believes in your principles? Because in the long run, only character sustains love. Status fades, but virtue remains. And remember this, if she values status over character, she will never truly value you. Conclusion. Marcus Aurelius lived by the principle of protecting one's peace no matter what. He understood that the people closest to us have the greatest power to shape our lives, and so must we. The choice is yours. Will you let appearances, desires, blame, lies, noise, and status blind you? Or will you choose wisely, guided by wisdom, substance, and character? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.